The South Dakota High School Football Championships kick off tomorrow in Vermilion.
The event has been a staple in South Dakota for 40 years, but as KELOLAND's Travis Fossing explains, the playoffs didn't exist until a lawsuit made its way through the courts.
The South Dakota Athletic Association passed a rule in 1926 stating there shall be no attempt to determine the high school football championship. It wasn't until the 1970s that the push for the playoffs started to gain momentum.
There was a contingent of coaches, Bob Burns and Max Hawk and others, that were pushing the Activity Association to have playoffs.
It had been brought up several times between 1970 and 1981 to implement the football playoffs, and at the time there was a threshold of a 2/3 majority of the membership voting to approve it, and they could never get to that threshold.
A lawsuit was filed in February 1981 by Sioux Falls attorney and O'Gorman football parent Tony Wisensee.
He was frustrated, like we all were, with all the other efforts we tried to get this through. And, being an attorney, he said there is one more thing we can try, and that's simply file a lawsuit.
Judge Robert Heggie ruled in favor of Wisensee. Activities Association votes no longer required a 2/3 majority, simply 50% plus one vote.
He's saying that the constitution of the association itself is probably sufficient to throw out the ban on football.
The Activities Association dropped all appeals in spring 1981.
Playoffs may come as early as this fall.
It's going to take a lot of time by a lot of people to establish the format for the playoff.
The Activities Association put in the time, and the playoffs arrived in fall 1981.
I don't believe the staff at the Activity Association, or the board for that matter, were against that. They were just up against that clause in the Constitution.
The lawsuit was considered a Hail Mary, but the state's celebrating 40 years, thanks in part to Judge Heggie.
I think they actually awarded him a lifetime pass to the playoffs, too, if I remember right, but it was a big deal.
In Sioux Falls, Travis Fossing, KELOLAND News.
In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, South Dakota's all-time winningest high school football coach shares his thoughts on the introduction of the playoffs and how it changed his approach to the football season.
I'm afraid that